What's up, my mathletes? That's right, Mr. Muscarella coming at you. And in this video, we're going to review how to solve absolute value equations. Now we're going to go through 5 examples. 3 we'll do together, and 2 you'll do on your own. So let's take a look at this first problem right here. So notice the absolute value spot, that piece is this blop that's right here. So we always have to take that absolute value piece, that blop, and isolate it. So what we're going to do is start to move everything else around until we have the blop by itself. So the first thing we're going to do, come on, OneNote, do your thing. What we're going to do is move this 6 over. So that'll leave us with 2 times the absolute value of 6m plus 1, and then equals 34. Now this 2 that's sitting in front of our blop, in front of that absolute value, we're going to divide both sides by 2. So now we'll have the absolute value of 6m plus 1 equals 17. Or divide 34 by 2, you end up with 17. Now that we've got that isolated, we're going to do one other thing here. We're going to analyze this value and say, hey, is that value positive or negative? It needs to be a positive number. If so, like it is, then we continue. So we're going to end up with 2 different things that we're going to do. One thing we're going to do is take this and split it up into 2 pieces. One is going to be, you'll take whatever's in the blop, the absolute value part, and set that equal to negative 17 and solve that. Then we'll take our other piece, 6m plus 1 again, and this time set it equal to positive 17. So those are going to be the 2 solutions, whatever we get when we solve these guys. These will be our 2 solutions to this problem. So when we do that, we'll get 6m equals negative 18, so then we end up with m equals negative 3. That is one of our answers. And if we take 6m plus 1 equals 17, subtracting 1, we'll get 6m equals 16. And when we solve that, we'll get 16 over 6. But when you reduce that, you'll end up with 8 over 3. So these are our 2 solutions for this particular absolute value problem. This one, that's 2 times the absolute value of 6m plus 1 plus 6 equals 40. Those are the 2 pieces that I get, 2 solutions. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at example number 2 on that one. So same thing. Now notice our blop is in a little bit different spot here, but we still approach it the same way. We want to isolate that piece. So first, we're going to take this 2 right here. We're going to move that to the other side. So I'll have 8 times the absolute value of 5 plus 6m equals 56. Then we will divide both sides by 8. So then we'll get 5 plus 6m. The absolute value of that is going to be equal to 56 divided by 8 gives us 7. And then once we've got that all isolated by itself, yes, 7 is positive. So we're going to set that up into 5 plus 6m equals negative 7 and solve that. And then 5 plus 6m equals positive 7. And those will give us the 2 solutions that we'll have for this piece. So we'll get one value where we have m equals negative 2, and the other one is going to be a fraction. That's okay. We'll get m equals 2 over 6, which when we reduce that, we get m equals 1/3. So these are our 2 solutions for example number 2. Now we got one other example that we'll do together here, and this is example number 3. And again, notice the blop. So where that blop is, again, we want to isolate that. So we'll start by subtracting 7. So we'll get 5 times the absolute value of 9x minus 9 equals negative 90. When we isolate the blop, again, that's what we're always kind of looking to do, is isolate that blop first, that absolute value piece. When we do that and divide both sides by 5, we'll get the absolute value of 9x minus 9 equals negative 18. Now right there, big red flag, this value, that's a negative number, and you can never have the absolute value of a quantity be equal to a negative number. So when that happens, the only time that happens, we just simply write no solution. So that is the answer for a problem that looks like number 3, when you solve the absolute value piece and you end up with a negative value for the absolute value of some blop. So those are going to be the things that you look at. So most answers will have 1 or 2 solutions, and sometimes you'll get one that has no solutions. So with that said, go ahead and hit pause, try numbers 4 and 5, and let's come back and see how you did. All right, so how did we do on that, my mathletes? Hopefully, on number 4, you came up with the two values, x equals -1 and x equals -7/9. And then on number 5, and as another one, we ended up with no solution on that one. So do take your time, make sure your work is nice, it's neat, it's organized, and definitely legible. Your math teachers will appreciate that. All right, man, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. Make it a great day, because there's simply no good reason not to. See you soon, and peace out.